Hello and welcome back to It Takes Dutch Courage. On this channel we are documenting our journey of renovating a Portuguese home on a 2-hectare quinta. In this week's video we are giving you the update from our very long 4-day weekend, where of course we spent most of it working on the house, both inside and outside, and we are very excited to show you the progress, specifically in our kitchen demolition. Because it can't be all work and no play, we also took a day to spend in the mountains, if only to escape the heat for a day, because even though we had the 4 days of the weekend, the highs that we measured were around 34 degrees. So it was very tough and very slow going, but also very rewarding. So yeah, let's have a look at what we got up to this week. One of the first tasks that I took on in the weekend was to get our terraces in order a bit. With all the sunshine and a bit of rain, everything had started growing, and while our neighbour had kindly helped us with mowing most of all the grass on the terraces, she couldn't get to the edges, so I went ahead, got the trimmer, dressed all up for the 32-degree heat, and yeah, got trimming. So that's a patrol, I think. So let's get some new. While René was working hard inside, I continued to work outside, but we only have one camera, so we couldn't film in tandem. One of the things that we really want to do while we're living here, but not yet tackling all of the big things outside, is to keep it as tidy as possible, because it really adds to the overall joy of living here, of not just living in a jungle, but at least having things done to the bare bone minimums. So I spent some time mowing back this lovely terrace that we've got here underneath the grapevines, and I also made a lot of way with the taller grass along the driveway, so that all looks a lot different now. After that, however, it was time for me to start hauling all the tiles that René had removed from the kitchen to our temporary storage space for all the junk that we're taking out. About 4 buckets in a wheelbarrow. This is number 6. Let's see how many more. Still a lot of them in the kitchen, but the bits are getting smaller, so that means the buckets can go fuller. Actually, it can go quicker, or that's what I keep telling myself. The last few buckets. Do you have some reflections on that?
No, there's too much dust for reflections. But it's got further than I thought. So happy with the progress.
And you're wounded.
Oh no, panic.
Well done.
I'll be alright.
Yay.
But I'm definitely done for today.
Do you want to wheel it?
Can do. Oh. Done.
It is going to be a wonderful 32 degrees today, so what better way to spend it than inside, removing as much of the top render as I can, all dressed up like this. I've gone with a full kind of hijab setup here to protect my hair from all the dust, because it just takes so long in the shower otherwise to get everything out. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will make my life a bit easier afterwards. But yeah, 32 degrees. Let's get going. I am decreasingly sure that this is the right way to go. I think I'll do some Googling to see if there is a best way to plaster all this up without the risk of cracks, because you don't want to be making those two parts, I assume. But let's have a look. I might continue now with removing the floor, just until René's back, so I could actually say I've done something, and then it's probably time for lunch. We also have got this plateau to even out a bit, and these lines here, so I'm going to at least do that now. And yeah, it needs to happen, so let's just do it. For a break. Part 2 of this very hot Monday. It's about 32 degrees, so it's lovely being inside. It's not too warm inside actually, unless you are trying to remove that render. The verdict after having a bit of lunch is that indeed we're not going to go ahead with removing all of that render. We are going to fill it all up and then plaster over that. The render was either not coming off at all or in complete chunks all the way down to the brick, so it would be very frustrating and probably not worth the hassle. So the thing that's then left to get out is the tile glue remnants on the floor, so I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon doing that, and eventually also this radiator and a few tiles that are still behind that. This morning René went to the brico-marché and got some of the tools and parts that we need to cap off the heating pipes downstairs in the garage. So that's something at some point we can start doing as well. So let's crack on with it again. The rest of that very hot and dusty Monday was spent until about 6 o'clock removing the towel glue from the floor, and I got to about halfway, although it's a bit more, I hope, in terms of quantity of towel glue still left, because on that side of the room there was much more glue left than on the second half. So that should be a quicker job to do in the upcoming days. We did have a fourth day in our lovely long weekend, but after a day of hard work again, we decided to use that on planning. And René spent most of the day drawing out and planning and doing all the requirements for our underfloor heating. And I spent most of the day working on a tile pattern for the gorgeous, I think, hexagon tiles that will be coming on these floors. But we'll share with you those plans in a later video. For now, this is it. I hope you enjoyed watching the progress once again, and we see you in the next video.